just trying to be ready and be prepared. I'm worried about my family. I'm worried about my friends. I'm worried about the nation and all of our liberty.
Yep, you and everybody else, man. It's good to have you on. I'm glad that you came here. Charles, we have a question from the chat room. You mind if I ask real quick?
Absolutely. I'm an open book. You can ask anything you want.
Okay. Tomahawk asks, what's the latest outlook on J4's trial? I'm sure everyone has that question.
What's the latest outlook? You're going to have to specify a little bit. What do you mean by that?
We'll wait for a response from that. Probably what's going on, I'm going to assume.
I mean, right now everything's looking good. As far as my trial goes, they've got no physical evidence against me. All they have is the testimony. So that's it. And I want everybody to know that they are trying to do double jeopardy on me. I got found not guilty for the M203, and now the state is trying to charge me again for the M203. And they just changed the name of the charges up to, I think now, receiving stolen property or something to that effect.
Okay. I'm going to ask one more time for him to specify. And you said your next court case is coming up here pretty soon?
I'm actually standing trial. As it stands right now, the DA keeps putting it off over and over and asking for continuances, and I keep fighting it. I actually almost got thrown in jail. The paperwork, because I want my trial now. I'm supposed to be going to trial this next week.
Okay, it looks like we've got Randy on the line. Go ahead, man.
Hey everyone, how are you guys doing? Hey, listen, I wanted to ask a question of you guys before about the Duncan meet and greet that you guys are having there. How is it going? I mean, what has the turnout been like? What's the energy like there? What are you guys doing? What are the discussions that are going on there for those of us who can't be there?
Well, right now we're talking about everything from, directions that we can take to improve the militia movement, to how to come all together to make us, solidify the movement as a whole, things that we can do to help the community go out and pick up trash or help the homeless or anything that we can do. Winning the hearts and minds of our community members. I mean, there's a lot that we've gone over.
Oh, that works. And the MTV crew is there as well, from what I understand, correct?
That's correct. They just took off a little while ago, but yes, they have been here.
All right. How did you get to speak with them personally, or?
Correct. They did videotape some interviews and stuff that we did here.
Okay, that works. That's good. I mean, what was your take? What was your feel about it? Were you pretty comfortable with the questions they were asking you, with the directions they were going?
Absolutely, and the individuals that were here, obviously I don't know what they'll do in the end, but the individuals that were here were very nice people, and I didn't get a bad feeling from them at all.
Well, that works. I'm really glad to hear that. Hopefully this might actually end up being exactly what they presented it as, which was an objective, look at militia versus that very, demonizing approach that, everybody seems to do about militia, and yet they forget. If it wasn't for the militia, we wouldn't have a country.
I agree, and I'll be the first to say that I was a little apprehensive at first with MTV being liberal media, but
yes.
After talking to them, and I'm saying that I can't be duped into believing something that's not true, but I believe that they're going to try to keep it as objective as possible and neutral.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I come from the TV industry, and I know just what it is like. I understand exactly what it's like. So, congratulations on all of you guys for putting this thing together, as well as maybe even getting the first real objective outlook on militia that's going on out there. For you, Charles, real quick, how are things going personally for you in the trial? I know that the weapons charges were you were found not guilty on that one, and congratulations on that. I'm glad that came through, and I'm glad the jury did their job there. So, but all these other things, I know you were having problems before. You were on our show before talking about some of the problems. Are they getting better? Are things worse? Are they staying the same?
I'd say about the same. I mean, the law enforcement around here has done horrible things as far as, I mean, they were talking about, they were pretty much planning my death in prison, talking about how they were going to tell, put me in general population, and they couldn't wait to put me in general population and tell everybody there why I was there to see how long I could last. My family's been harassed by the FBI and threatened by the FBI. It was about the same as it was to start with. So yeah.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I know it's got to be tough some days to keep the faith and to remember that we actually do live in a country where there was a rule of law and there was supposed to be, and the courts are supposed to dispense justice, especially when everything that they've been doing to you has been going on. So, my best wishes for you, man. I really hope that this goes, that everything goes well for you. My prayers go out for you there, and anything I can do to help you, let me know. And that's pretty much it. Those were pretty much my questions I had to ask. I'll let you guys get back to it.
All right, Randy, thanks for coming on. You're going to be back on for the second half still?
I'm listening in, yeah. Just let me know when you want me to come on, and I'll come on.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Not a problem. Bye-bye.
May I add something to Sergeant Dyer's comments?
Go ahead.
Sorry, this is Darren Whitell. Sergeant Dyer is a very impressive and humble young man. He would never ask for help. However, he stepped out into the light when very few people would by making the videos that he did, and he's obviously been persecuted beyond belief. I've sat and listened for 2 days to the violations of his constitutional rights, and I am absolutely amazed at what has been done to him. However, if more of us step up and join him in saying exactly who we are and what we believe, they can no longer continue to pick us off one at a time as they're trying to do to Sergeant Dyer. He would never ask for help. However, on his behalf, I would like to ask all patriots in the country to research his case, look at the evidence against him, which is non-existent, and do everything that's possible to support him, because he's looking at forfeiting his life because of his beliefs, and he's a 30-year-old man. As patriots, we must band together and stop this kind of persecution of true American patriots.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We need to pledge to each other our lives and our sacred honor and our fortune. And once again, got to create that community, especially among us. There's something to be said about making the community amongst the public, but we need our community amongst militia and guardians to be so cohesive that nothing can take us apart. And one thing that I do see a lot now is different groups arguing and basically being ignorant and not... what am I trying to say here? I apologize. Basically infighting and being... What's that?
Infighting.
Yes.
Would be what you're talking about. And SECOM has developed ways of dealing with infighting and ways of talking to groups and dealing with groups who are based on that. And, we have a lot of... The main place that the infighting and that the dissension comes from is online. And that's because men looking at each other in person in the eyes are not likely to do things like that. They're likely to come down to a basic level and make real connections based on reality. And the important thing that we're doing through this movement is trying to get people to meet each other eye to eye, and that will spread unity. A lot of the fighting that we do is online, where you don't even know who you're talking to. Most of the people who get online and dissent and argue and directions are people who are probably not even in a militia. They're probably just some guy sitting in a basement somewhere. So what we've done is we've instituted a plan of action where anybody who is really going to unify is going to meet in person and is going to meet face-to-face. And we've instituted a plan to get everyone to be able to do that. The idea is that humans only form real bonds and real connection and real trust through face-to-face interaction.
Correct. I mean, would you want to go into that plan at all, or is that something that's still in the works? You don't want to release anything?
No, I would love to go into that plan. What we're doing on April 30th is we had planned originally that it was a SECOM meeting. SECOM is the Southeast Constitutional Militia Group, and their deal is that they are an umbrella network for Georgia, Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi. And the idea is that we get together and we develop comm lines and we develop communication lines and we go through standard SOP things and we share ideas. Each group has a strength, and we get together in a networking atmosphere where we share our strengths together and we develop a standard and a protocol. And it's not about telling any group how to operate. It's about telling every group that they have a standard support and that individuals from each group will be able to be in cooperation with individuals from every other group, and that those people will maintain communication and maintain cooperation and build our alliance.
Okay, so basically setting up and discussing face-to-face meetings is what you guys are doing to eliminate infighting. And the trivial and absolutely ridiculous thought of patriots not talking to each other over a simple idealistic difference.
Absolutely. The deal is that patriots are people who want to stand and fight for their country. They are not people who want to bug out and hide on their own. Patriots are people who want to form and unite with their fellow patriots. They want to stand and fight for their country. They want to make sure that their country survives and that the ideals that it was founded on are held true and held strong. These are not individuals who want to run into the woods and hide by themselves. These are a united group of people who believe in the ideals that this country is founded on and will unite and will fight for it, whatever means that takes.
Outstanding. And you know, just like, I mean, that is a community, and we need more of that. With communities and groups being led top down, I mean, is there a command structure behind that, or is it simply communications?
It absolutely is not what I would call a command structure. I get really, really aggravated when people say, oh, we need rank and we need blah, 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 and we need rules. Because the deal is that everyone who is doing this because they care about their community and they're doing it voluntarily. And they are not getting paid. And there is no one who can stand over us and tell us what kind of camo we should wear and what we should wear as hats and how we should train. But absolutely what this is this is a basic structure that we're saying we're providing. The ideas behind SECOM is we have lots of things implemented to address different issues. We have basic kind of standards for what you should carry in your med kit, basic standards for what you should do for a new person coming to your group, basic standards for how you should deal with community interaction. And none of these are laws. These are just a basic guideline that somebody, if you decided as an individual that tomorrow you wanted to start your own militia, you could use our SOP and start a group and have something that has been vetted and has been proven as effective by many different groups. The idea at the SECOM meeting is that it's more of a workshop environment. We're addressing 10 to 12 basic issues like med, comm, vetting, grievance committees, and what